So it's funny. I woke up today and I looked around and I started to realize, where did all my friends go? And it's not like I don't have friends now, but it's like, where did all like these close friendships that I had in high school and college, where did they go? And this idea didn't really hit me for the longest time. It's because we all moved everywhere. And I find it extremely depressing that we spend all this time during our youthful adolescence spending countless hours together to forge this deep, intimate friendship. But then you graduate and you all move to different areas, and the sheer responsibility of adulthood kind of hits us all. So we don't have free time, and we're lucky to see each other like once a year if we fly out, or twice a year, if that. And then you start to realize that these friendships that help define you, create you, support you, you're no longer with them. And I saw this meme online where it's like a picture of a guy with all his friends one day, and then like 5 years later, you're just like alone in the woods. And I had a difficult time grasping this idea. It's like you're alone. And the people you care about the most, and the friends and the boys and the memories that you made together, are just distant memories. And then you realize that adulthood is all there is. And if you look at statistics for Generational Z, I think 1 in 4 people have reported having more bad days than good days. And I think 72% of people in our cohort are depressed, or mental health is down the drain. And only 20% of the people in this generation are having sex and having all the fucking. So most of us are not engaging in this at all, which is very sad, which shows that our dependence on technology and isolation from the world is at an all-time high. Our mental health is completely shot, and it's really depressing. I think you watch these videos online and you read Reddit forums, and it's almost like this hope and glamorous future has kind of been sapped out of us. Our engagement in the workplace is at an all-time low. I think we started seeing that company loyalty is absolute bullshit. A company will let you go, they'll work you to your bones, and once they extract all that youthful energy from you, they kind of let you off, and you're stuck to defend for yourself. And then you realize that you spent all your youth and time working at a job that you didn't like just to pay your bills. This pessimism and nihilistic energy surrounding our generation is real. I feel like we get blamed for all the problems of society, of how we're not engaging in the workplace, we're terrible employees, we're destroying this industry. But the economy and culture that we inherited didn't really support us. It's almost like we were groomed from childhood to respect other people, have work-life balance. It's almost like these altruistic ideals. And then you go to the workplace in real world and you're like, the people that I respected didn't follow these at all. And just treating people with dignity and respect is gone. So now we work these like low-wage jobs, or let's say we do get a good job. And you should be thankful for that good job if you make good money, but you're not passionate about it. You realize how bad the economy is. The workforce is absolutely cooked. People right now cannot find jobs anywhere. Even though you read the Wall Street Journal and New York Times and it says the labor market is extremely strong, for the white collar work, high paying jobs, it's utter shit right now. It is complete trash. And it's extremely depressing because trying to find an entry level job out of college, I feel for you. It's like you need 4 years of experience and a degree. And even if you get the job, it only pays like $40K. And $40K in this economy doesn't make it. It's like you're continually struggling and starving, and then you have to keep doing this cycle, and you know you should be saving money to retire, but then you ask why do I keep doing the shit I don't like until one day I'm old, so maybe I'll have like 5 or 10 years of living. We don't do that. So it makes sense why we're checking out, and the whole like trend of quiet quitting is real. I'm extremely thankful for the position I'm in. I'm married and have a strong friend group and have a high paying job. But I've had these struggles before. I struggled with it for a very long time. Growing up in poverty, I was isolated from the world. I feel like mental health was something I always struggled with. And I made it my goal to get out of it. And I realized that just because I made it doesn't mean that everyone else can either. And even if you have these things, trying to make friendships on top of the responsibilities, it's difficult. And there's no clear-cut path of how to make friends. We all have differences. And I think that's the hardest part. There's no guide to go out and make friends. It's not as easy as when you were in high school or college surrounded by your peers. Once you graduate from this setting, you're interacting with the real world, and you have to adapt very quickly. And you start realizing the adult world isn't all fairy tales. It's 100% responsibility. It's on you. Life gets monotonous and kind of boring. And the friendships you do make are a little more serious. And if you do get in a relationship, you have way less time to even do anything. But I'm thankful that I have a partner that's my best friend that supports me. But I realize a lot of people aren't in this fortunate position. I've been there. When I first moved to College Park in the peak of the pandemic, I know what it's like to not interact with a human being for like a week, especially when you work from home and stuff like this. It's like everyone's afraid of each other because COVID was around and you're afraid of dying if you got this virus. So people got like socially stumped. I feel like our social skills kind of declined over this period and we just became more reliant on technology. And that's why online dating is a huge thing, because habits that we had during the pandemic kind of carried on over and things aren't the same. Our generation is killing the wine industry, alcohol industry. So that means our generation is drinking less and they're smoking more pot alone. And I realized the more things we do alone, you kind of get used to it. And making friendships as an adult is even harder because you're so used to being by yourself alone. And especially you're working a career that you don't like. I feel like a lot of people do jobs that they don't like because they're high paying. And if you tell me if you remove the money, would you really be a consultant, an investment banker, an accountant? Maybe some people will. What our generation wants the most is respect, autonomy, work-life balance. But I feel like we're shitted on in the workplace, which zaps all the energy that you have to try to even go out. So I know the feeling of like working all week and then it's Friday and you're like, I really want human connection, but I'm so drained. I'm kind of like a zombie. I don't want to go out, put myself out there. And I don't really want to drink at a bar or go to a concert. I don't know, like you do these things to meet people, but then just to get stood up, rejected. I don't think I have an answer, but it's sad. And I feel like technology gives us this false sense of security that we're connecting with our friends still. But I feel like because you see what people are doing on Instagram or Facebook, it gives us less of incentive to reach out and say, hey, like, how are you actually doing? Let's catch up over coffee or a phone call and let's make a trip together, because you're seeing what they're doing, but you're not really experiencing it. And then you look at your own life and you're like, well, I feel like everyone else has moved on and I'm just stuck. And you wake up, you go to work, you get off work, you go to the gym, you go online and watch TV, and you repeat that until the weekend. So what did I do to kind of get out of this? I'm not saying that I have the answer or solution. It took a very long time to kind of get a great friend group, a great wife, and a life, honestly. I made it my number one goal, no matter how upset I was and how fucked up society is and how dating is impossible right now. I said that I'm gonna start dating, I'm gonna get in shape, and I'm just gonna ignore the world and be kind of unrealistic. You have to be a little crazy to get the life that you want. And realize that society and people, it's almost as if they wanna like hold you down. And you have to protect this like light in your heart. I know it's like getting dimmer every single day because of the stress of adulthood and life and the economy and blah, 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 blah. You have to hold this dear to your heart, and you have to continually work at something. You have to continually go out and meet people, and you're going to have to figure out what that looks like for you. And I know hearing this, you're going to be like, I don't know what that looks like or what's the practical steps. You're going to have to get outside your house. You're going to have to find activity or a place or a third space that fosters meeting new people. And it's going to be very different and awkward and weird at first. And you're going to have to keep doing that. And then eventually, like, you will just meet people. You're going to have to talk, and you're going to have to destroy these, like, self-defeating beliefs that I won't be able to meet friends. You're going to have to adapt to a new version of yourself. And you're going to have to let that side of you that's holding you back go down. It's easy to just get isolated and not seek help for mental health and stuff. But if you want to start making new friendships that are more rich and abundant than when you were a young guy or in late adolescence or early adolescence, you're gonna have to realize that your friendships are gonna look different. I realize that now a lot of my friends are like 70 years old. Okay, they're 50 and they're 40 and They're around 30. I think 30 is the youngest friend that I have. And it changed the concept of friends have to be my same age and same demographic, that they look like me and talk like me. And I'm thankful for that. Luckily, I found my friends through a cigar lounge. It's something that I was always passionate about and interested. That was the first time that I ever felt like I fit in. And because of the cigar lounge and because of going out and meeting people in my apartment, I met my wife. And it's just little things like this that don't seem to be impressive at the time, but they do connect at the end. I understand that by doing nothing, you're still gonna be in the same situation 3 years later. You're still gonna be sad, you're still gonna be single, you're still gonna be out of shape. It's almost like you have to fight technology, you're gonna have to fight the world. And you'll find people who wanna meet. Not everything's all doom and gloom. Some people are not gonna make it out, but some will make it out, and I hope that's you. I understand that the lack of motivation and creative energy is zapped out of you because you're like, I don't really know where to start. You're gonna have to find online resources. You're gonna have to find mentors. You're gonna have to find friends. But one day, things will get better, even if it's 10%. And if I watched this video myself and I saw this, I would probably hate on myself and be like, it's easy for you to say because you don't know how I feel. My journey looked a little more different than yours. There's a lot of things that might be holding you back. There might be a lot more stress on you. But I hope one day you're able to see the light for a bit. I hope that helped.